All right. Well, thanks for coming out, everybody. Hey, Lena. Hey, Katie. Excited to be doing this. Last week just went so well. I thought, hey, let's just do this again. God's given me the gift of music, and so, I feel I'm supposed to share it. So today's going to be fun. We're going to be doing not just piano, but you can see we got my harp here, and I'm going to be sharing some about that too. I've also got another harp that's going to be very interesting to my friends in Israel that are watching. But I'm going to start off with my song that I'm going to be doing a lot of new music today, and also some requests that were from last week. But I'm going to start out with my song that always starts. It's my trademark song, the Music Box Dancer. It kind of gets me warmed up, and it's my favorite song I explained last week. So every time I'm at the Amish store, this is pretty much what I open with. So here we go. Hey Craig, thanks for watching in. Hey Charlie, hey, thanks for joining in too. Oh, appreciate it so much. Yeah. Oh, Mary, Mrs. Ryan or Miss Ryan, she was my my elementary music teacher, and Mary, you played a pivotal role in my love for music. So I just want to say thank you. I always remember that was one of my favorite classes when I was like in 3rd and 4th grade. And those songs that you taught us, they still go through my mind. So, thank you. Glad again that you could be here. I took some notes last week of some songs that we would be doing today, and some requests. The first one I'm going to do is one of my students, Carrie. She's been working on this, and it's Canon and D. Everybody knows Canon and D. And but this is my own arrangement. Now you're going to notice that, hey Sergio, and Rhoda, thanks for joining in, our friends in Israel. I will. But this is my own arrangement, and you're going to notice I like jazz, you saw Charlie Brown last week, so I'm going to start it out. I'm going to show you how I sometimes play it. Also, hello to any of my Amish door friends. Hoping that we got you logged in and on Pine Tree Barn. Thank you for anybody else joining in. But just glad to be able to do this. In this time we need as much encouragement as we can, right? So that's what this is all about. And God is good. So Canon and D, Jason Fawks style. The fun part. Yeah, that's my version, put a little jazz in there. That if you got a sleepy crowd at the restaurant, that'll wake them up. So that's for you, Carrie. And next song I'm going to do at request is for another one of my students. Well, she's not my student, but she's a sister of a couple of my students, but Ruth Anna, and they asked me to play Joyful, Joyful. And this is my version of it. Hey, Crystal, thanks for watching in. Appreciate it. Sherry, hey, good to see you too. Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee. I love that song. Beethoven, from the, Ninth Symphony. But today I told you that we were also going to do some harp. So I'm going to bring in the harp. I'm going to come back to the piano. But this harp here, there's a little bit of a story behind it. I actually, about 7 or 8 years ago, I decided that I love Irish music, and I decided that I wanted a harp, but they're just so expensive. So, long story short, I got some plans and went to our local Kime Lumber wood shop, and on a second attempt, out came this thing. So it's been a lot of fun. I've actually built about 7 or 8. For a while, I was actually selling them. I think Craig, who might be watching in, he actually has one of my harps, but I love it. This is actually a Paraguayan style harp. I'm moving over so you can see it. And there's a friend of ours, Edward Clausen. Many of you have probably heard of him. He's from Paraguay, and he has a much fancier harp. But they stayed with us when we used to run a bed and breakfast, and he got to play this. I was like, wow, it was a lot of fun. So it's really rewarding when you make an instrument, and it touches people. I'm going to dedicate this first song to my wife. This is actually the song that got me inspired to learn the harp. O'Carolan, he was probably considered I think he's the national composer of Ireland, if I'm correct. But he was a harpist from, I think, the 1700s, 1800s, who was a blind minstrel. And he wrote tons of music for the harp. He's probably one of the most famous composers in Ireland. He named all his songs after people or events. And I find this one very funny. The name of this song is Carolyn's Quarrel with the Landlady. Now, when you hear this, you're not going to think quarrel, you're going to think peace. So my suspicion is that this is what solved the quarrel with the landlady. It's a very peaceful song. Hey, thanks, Sergio. So Carolyn, like I said, I love Irish music. It turns out we did a DNA study a couple years ago, found out that both my wife and I both have a lot of Irish and Celtic roots. Well, I'm going to play the next song. Everybody knows Amazing Grace. Not sure, one quick story. One time at the bed and breakfast, a couple came down, and they were obviously had been in a argument, and the tension was high, and I would serve breakfast and often play the harp after breakfast. But this time I could sense such a tension that right after I served breakfast, I said, well, why don't I play a song on my harp? And there were about 6 people present, but everybody could feel it. So I played Amazing Grace, what I'm going to play for you now. And all I know is, you think of Saul, when David played for Saul, when he was afflicted by evil spirits, and it would drive them away. And when I was done playing, I wasn't watching them, but when I looked up, they were holding hands. So amazing. Isn't God's grace amazing? And in these times, that is something we need to remember. This next song I'm going to play for you, I actually wrote at a wedding that I did once, and it just came out. I don't know, I don't really have a name for it, but it's a joyful song. During the recession, it was an outdoor wedding, this just kind of popped out, so... Yes, so that's a joyful song that, I think God gave me just to share with people. I'm going to bring out my other harp here. Now this harp I did not build, but this, I think Sergio will know what this is, and any friends in Israel. This is a Davidic harp. It's in Hebrew. It's called a kinnor. The heart-shaped. It was supposedly kind of shaped like the Sea of Galilee in some way. But this is similar to a 10-string lyre that King David would have played. They actually found a Roman coin from the time of Christ. You can get these from Marini-made harps. I bought this way back in 2007. This was the fourth one he made. And I actually took this to Israel with me in 2009 when my family were blessed to go to Israel. I have a little ding that I call my Israel ding where I bumped it into something, and I think it's kind of cool. But I'm going to play a couple songs for you. Mostly played with the right hand. Sit here. This first song I'm going to play is first song I think I wrote on it, and and my daughter's names are Joy and Faith. So this song is a song of joy. You have a song of joy. Thank you, Shane. Yeah, this next song I named after I wrote and my daughter Faith. So this is a song of faith. Thank you. Yeah, so that was another song that God gave me, Song of Faith. We named our daughters, well, Joy and Faith, and they are that, and we all need that. This final song I'm going to play on this one, since this is the national instrument of Israel, I'm going to play the national song of Israel, Hatikva, on it for you. Hatikva means the hope, and Israel, we love Israel. We believe that God has moved miraculously to bring Israel back into the land. There are actually Bible prophecies that said this would happen, and so this song is all about the hope of a free land, of a return of Israel. So Hatikva, which is the national instrument of Israel, played on the national song of Israel, played on the national instrument of Israel. Tongue twister. there you are. Hatikva played on the Knor. I remember when we were in Israel, the first night we were there, we were at a hostel in Jaffa, and I remember I was playing this out on some steps, and all of a sudden I looked over and there was a man, an elderly man, an Israeli man, in a wheelchair, and he said, I heard the sound of that harp through the window, and I just had to come down and meet the person playing it. So that's such a story I remember. But anyways, I'm going to get back to the piano now, and I may revisit the harp, so don't worry about that. Anybody that knows me well knows I have lots of instruments that I can pull from. So, let me power up the piano here. And yeah, I had a request last week. See, what did I have? I wrote them down. I had a request for something from Bach. I don't know if that person's listening, but J.S. Bach I consider one of my favorite classical composers. Here's my Bach book. I'm going to play one of his simpler pieces. I don't consider myself like a virtuoso piano player. I mean, God has gifted me and I play well, but my gifting isn't in complexity, but is in expression. And I love this song because it's so expressive. And it's actually called The Prelude in C. It was from his Well-Tempered Clavier. And an amazing thing about this song is that the chord progression on it is very miraculous. Musicologist actually studied this song and said that now Bach gave all the glory to God. He wrote all his songs, and he said solo de gloria to them. He'd write at the end. And he claimed that, God gave him the gift, and I believe it. And there was a study once I read about this song, I believe, in particular. And they said it's so simple, and yet the chord progression is, if they studied it, is so, it just is they don't know how a human mind could come up with it short of genius, or we could say divine inspiration. So I believe God worked and gave him the song. Again, it's the Prelude in C. Yes, I just got a request for Annie's song. Yes, Greg, I can play that for you. Yes. I just finished playing the Prelude in C major by Bach, and I was explaining that that is such a simple piece, but it has such an amazing chord progression. But yeah, Annie's song, John Denver. I think last week I did Country Roads, so this is another great one. Yes, Annie's song. Oh, thank you. Thanks for all those that are watching in from all over the world, it seems. I'm going to do another request. Like I said, I wrote down some songs. I had a request last week for the hymn Faith of Our Fathers. I don't know if Matt's watching in. If not, I'll make sure he can see it. I'm going to post this on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel too. Just look up Jason Fawks. I should know it. But I'm getting new at this. I'm going to get better and better. I'm going to be trying to get some better audio equipment with my friend's help and continue to do this. And speaking of which, I'm only going to say this once. I'm not doing this for the money. I normally play piano at the Amish Door restaurant, but Sergio forced me to do this. He said, I think there's a link to a PayPal me virtual tip jar. I hope I put it up right. Anybody that wants to do that, that'd be greatly appreciated, but no pressure to. I'm here just to bless you, and so I promised I would mention that once. So, got it. So, Faith of Our Fathers. I had this open to the page, but Matt, I hope you're listening in from Pine Tree Barn. He and his wife own the Pine Tree Barn, which is a wonderful place. I play there for the past 3 or 4 years. I've played every year for their Valentine's special dinner. It's this really gourmet meal they do once a year. It's awesome, but they're just an awesome business. I know that they're probably closed right now due to the virus, but when they're open, check them out. Pine Tree Barns in Worcester. They just have all this awesome furniture, and of course they sell trees, all types of stuff. It's just this really cool antique barn. So I want to put a plug in for them. Thank you for their support. Oh, I have a visitor. Who's this? Daisy. She's our musical kitty. This is Daisy, everybody. Say hi, Daisy. She's like been enjoying it. When I'm teaching piano and other instruments, she comes in and likes to say hi to my students. She loves music. So say hi to Daisy. All right. I don't think she's going to stay on my lap, but anyways. So Faith of Our Fathers. Yes, Faith of Our Fathers. And hope, Matt, you got to hear it on that one. If not, I'll make sure I get this to you. Next song I'm going to play at request. Another student of mine, Adam, and he's an amazing young man. And he has been learning this song totally by watching YouTube videos. And it's a song that everybody knows. Fear Elise, written by none other than Beethoven. And so I'm going to play it for you. But he's really impressed me because he's pretty much learning the whole song without the music. And I got to have the music for this song. So anyways, I promised I would play this for. So Adam, if you're watching in or later on YouTube, this is for you. had a beautiful song. You just cannot. Hey, Jeff, one of my high school friends. Hey, thanks for joining in. Thanks, Shane. Appreciate your encouragement. Beethoven. Nobody can argue that he is one of the awesomest, is that a word, composers. This is a song that I believe he wrote. I'm not 100% sure. But one of my students from last year introduced me to. One of the cool things about being a music teacher and a piano teacher is that sometimes you get ideas that I didn't have. And one of my students said, I want to learn this song. It's called Beethoven's Silence. And it's just a beautiful piece, so I'm going to play it for you. Hey, thank you. Mary. Yeah, I mentioned there's Jeff. He was in my elementary school with Mary Ryan, who taught me a lot of music. A lot of what you're hearing today shows how what you invest in other people's lives can have long-term events. I mean, I never thought that music would be my main thing, you know? I mean, neither did my parents. I thought I'd be an engineer or something, but I'm also a real estate agent, but music's my favorite, let me tell you. I can tell you that. But anyways, any of those wondering where we live now, we live out in Holmes County, Ohio, in Millersburg. We are blessed to live at Lake Buckhorn, which is a gated community on a 220-acre lake. We have just been so blessed by God, living in a small but cozy cabin up in the woods. It's just a dream come true for us. Thinking of the next song I play, I like to just be spontaneous here, but another favorite, and this is going to be a little more upbeat, that I get requested a lot. And when I first got requested this song, people come up and they say, "Hey, can you play that song from Sting?" And I'd be like, "Sting? Movie Sting? I never seen it." And finally I put it together. They were talking about The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. So finally put it together. So now when they come up and they say, "Hey, can you play that song from Sting?" I know what they mean. So. that's a good old one. On that second part there, I kind of lost it a little bit, but you know what? You may have not even noticed. I always tell my students, yeah, you start making mistakes when you're performing, just keep going. Most people won't know, and the people that do, who cares, right? We all make mistakes in life. There's a lot of principles about music that apply to other areas of our life. And I don't know about you, but I never get it 100% right all the time. So I just love to be able to, thankfully, I don't struggle too much with the anxiety syndrome that a lot of people do when they perform. I just try to be myself. This next song, people have asked me for, so what songs have you written? I have a couple CDs out. I have a Christmas CD that I recorded on a Steinway Grand, and I also have a hymn CD that I recorded before that. I'm going to play the two songs on both of the CDs that I actually wrote. The first one I'm going to do is it's from my first CD that I put out in 2012, Hymns on a Steinway, and I did record it on a Steinway Grand at the Amish Door restaurant. And this song is called, when you have a song that you get, sometimes you just don't know what it's called. It's a song without words. That's what I came up as a name for it. But here it goes. Thanks, Shane. Just keep going. Hey, Amy. Thanks for joining in. Again, that's my song that it's a song without words. Next song that I wrote, it's actually on my Christmas CD. Let me get a sip of water here. And this is called The Happy Song. And I consider it, I came up with the name of it because it's just kind of happy. So... is that happy for you? Hey, Eddie's from Spain. I mean, I know you're not in Spain right now. You're probably in Columbus, but thanks for joining in, my friend. From the Amish Door, yeah, a friend that I've met through there. That was the happy song. One of my students, I remember Beth, I was teaching her the difference between major and minor chords and how they can change the whole sound. So I just want to show you, on that song, if I were to minorize it, you end up with this. But now we're gonna get happy again. So anyways, look at the difference in that. Hey there, Joan. Hey, thank you for joining in. Hey, Mark. The difference between, you're not here for a music lesson, but I played that song just with the same chords and I minored them and majored them. It just shows you what you can do with music. Music is such a cool thing. J.S. Bach, who I played a piece from earlier, I think I shared this last week, but he said the two reasons he believed that God had given us music was, first of all, for the glory of God, and secondly, for our own enjoyment and the enjoyment of others. And being a musician, that is one of the joys of my life, is to be able to bring joy to people. Now, I played this song last week, but I just have to play it again because it's another one of those favorite songs. And Karen, okay. Well, I'll have it on YouTube, Karen. So I'll post, look me up. I'm going to figure out, I'm new to this. I'm going to keep doing this and hopefully this will keep growing and going to get better equipment and stuff. So then GMA live streaming on both YouTube too. So, and then it could be like backed up. But this video will also be on my page. You can watch it at your own convenience again. But let's see, where was I going there? Oh, yeah, talk about a happy song. I played it last week, but I'm going to play it again because I got such a good response. You just never can go wrong with Charlie Brown, okay? And probably Music Box Dancer, which is the song I started with, and Charlie Brown, hey, thanks, Mary, is a song that brings joy to people. When I'm at the Amish Store restaurant, whenever I see there's a line of people out the door and they're getting kind of grumpy maybe because they're having to wait, or you got a bunch of children, I sometimes will pick this song because I'm just like, and then, it'll just change the atmosphere. It's amazing. This is an arrangement from my former piano teacher who's passed on, Pat Pace. He was a famous jazz pianist from the Akron area that I took for way back when for about 3 years. But this was his arrangement. I don't even have the music for it anymore, but thankfully I got it up here. So. Wow, Charlie Brown. All right. Hey, Shane, is Araya there? Is she watching? You want to let me know? Ah. Hey, thank you, Charlie. You passed the audition. Starting salary $1.5 million per year. Company car. Oh, wow. Oh, wouldn't that be something? But I'm okay. I love it. So, Araya, are you there? Ah. Well, anyways, you'll see this. I'm sure if Shane's watching it, you are. You're not supposed to have favorite students, right? Shh. Mary, you would probably say that, right? Well, Araya, you are one of my favorite students. How many students take time to send you something like this in the mail? You recognize that? I just got this from her the other day. She is such a wonderful student of mine. I just love her so much. I love her family. She has wonderful parents. And we have a lot of fun together. She and I have weekly lessons for about an hour. And she's not terribly old, but she doesn't get bored. For some reason, she likes me. I don't know why. But anyways. Yeah. So, hey, Araya. Thanks for joining in. So Charlie Brown, we just did a Charlie Brown piece, but I didn't do this last week. But when you got Charlie Brown, you got to have Charlie Brown's greatest hits, And there's a lot of other good music out there by Vince Guaraldi. This one I kind of like. It's really not all that blue. It's called Blue Charlie Brown, and but it's still kind of happy. But I like this song, so I'm gonna play it. Charlie Brown, right? Vince Guaraldi, wonderful musician. Last week I played a couple songs from Phantom of the Opera, another big hit when I play music at the restaurant. And I think somebody requested Music of the Night. Yeah, that is such a beautiful piece. A lot of, I think, the 4 or 5 tenors, they sang it. And but one of my friends, Jeff, I don't know, Jeff, if you're watching in, but I think this is his favorite too. So I'm going to play this for you. I'm going to add a little strings in real quick. Just makes it a little bit more feel like that feel of the Phantom. So. Yep, that's such a beautiful piece. Lots of music. Andrew Lloyd Webber, definitely a very unique artist in his compositions. I'm trying to find the one other piece I have here. This is always a funny. I get this requested from him, and it's another beautiful song. It's not from the Phantom, but it's from a show I don't even think I've ever watched, The Cats, but I love cats, so maybe it's good. But everybody knows Memory, and I always think it's funny because this is a 5-page song, so when I pull this out at the restaurant, at the Amish store, by the way, if there's any of my friends from the Amish store, hello, glad you could join in. Hope you're able to see this. Anyways, so I pull this sucker out, and if I can even get it unfolded, and it's kind of funny, because you got like all this music here. So let's see what it sounds like. Okay, let's put the strings in again. It's called Memory by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yes, that is such a beautiful song. Wanted to play a couple more songs. I'm going to do my harp again here soon. But I did want to play a song from my hymn CD that I like the African American spirituals. And this one is called Wade in the Water, and I love it. Wade in the Water. Yeah, it's a good one. This next song I play is also on my CD, my hymn CD, and it's actually it's a white American spiritual. We often hear about African American spirituals, but this one, it actually was written not in that community. I think like down in like Virginia area, or I can't remember the whole story. But it's called Wayfaring Stranger, and I love this song because it's just such a. If you read the words to it, I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, just a passing through this world of woe, and you know, there's a lot of struggle going on in our world, but you know, as a Christian, I am very thankful that oh, thanks for my daughter Joy, dear family friends, love you, Joy, and I'm very thankful for knowing my relationship with Christ. I'm just gonna be open and share that. It gives me great comfort through this time, that I have a hope beyond this life, though I hope to keep on. I mean, there's good things ahead. So, but Wayfaring Stranger. I'm gonna take out the strings. Wayfaring stranger. Hey, thank you. I'm gonna get my harp back out now. Let me move some music over here so I can get a little room here. I had mentioned before that the Irish music is one of my favorites, and I think it is many people. They love Irish music. This song I'm going to play, you can't get much more Irish than Danny Boy, and there's a story behind this. Actually, on the piano I would play this, but when I'm at the Amish store restaurant, I'd say about maybe 8 or 9 years ago, a wonderful couple brought their son Danny, or we called him Dan the Man, and he had, I don't know what disorder he had, but he was pretty much bound to a wheelchair for life and couldn't talk well, but he was very intelligent, and I think he was about 50 or so, but they would bring him up every time they would come to the restaurant. And after they would eat, they'd bring him up, and he would communicate that he wanted to hear Danny Boy. And I actually carry his picture. Let me grab it real quick. I don't know if Jim and Barb are watching, but here's a picture of him. I carry it with me in my gig bag, and because his family comes sometimes, and I play it for them. But Danny would always, when I would play Danny Boy, he'd just tear up, and it was amazing. Couldn't speak many words, but you knew the music was touching his soul. And so I'm going to play this in honor of him, but Danny Boy. He did actually pass away and went to be with the Lord about 4 or 5 years ago. Danny Boy. Yeah, I know Mary. Yeah, you have some Irish background. Yep. Next I'm going to play, I think it's a fitting song for this time that we're in. You Raise Me Up. Oh, thank you, Mary. Glad that blessed you. Such a beautiful song of hope being raised up, of God's sovereignty over the struggles of the world. I don't think this coronavirus has caught God by surprise, do you? I think he's still in control. And that's the hope that I have, and I hope that many of you have. It gives us great comfort. I'm going to do one more song on the harp, then I'm going to finish up on a few songs on the piano. This is a song I'm going to dedicate to our good friends Harry and Rose. They became good friends with us when we ran our bed and breakfast, and we still are good friends. An older couple could be our parents. We love them, but they've kind of almost adopted us, like, in a way. I think it's our daughters they love the most, but they like me and Jenny too, I know. But anyways, Harry has an Irish background, and he introduced me to this song that I'd never heard before. He said, Jason, you need to play this on the harp. And it's called Fields of Athenry. So... Right. I'm going to wind up with a few more songs. I hope you enjoyed the harp. I'll be doing more concerts, and one of the things I teach about, I don't know, 10 or 12 different instruments. You can see in my studio. Obviously, piano is my main instrument, but I teach some harp, I teach guitar, I teach a lot of folk instruments like the dulcimer, mandolin and stuff. So penny whistle, we may get some penny whistle, and I thought in future concerts we'll just have some fun exploring music and sharing different instruments. I mean, I love doing so much. Oh, you're very welcome from Israel. I got Todah Rabbah. I think that's Jason in Hebrew. Yeah, I know a little bit of Hebrew. She's clapping. Yeah. Ani Lomed Ivrit. Very small amount, but I know just a little bit of Hebrew. When we were in Israel not once, our only time we were in Israel, I remember my daughter got sick, and so we went out to eat, and my wife had to stay with her, and I could not communicate that I needed a takeout order because this Israeli restaurant did not understand English, the owner. But finally, in my very basic Hebrew, I said something like, Ani Isha Lo Ba. which I don't think that's correct grammar. But hey, Matt. But it means my wife's not here or something. He finally got it. And hey, Matt, just so you know, I don't know if you were here before, but I did play Faith of Our Fathers earlier. So it's going to be on, this is going to be on my thing, so you can listen to it if you missed it for earlier. And also, I will be posting this on YouTube. So I didn't forget your song, Matt. Matt's a wonderful guy, a friend. And he and his wife, I mentioned, are the owners of the Pine Tree Barn in Worcester. Again, just a wonderful place that when we get through this, definitely go check them out. So, as we wrap up, I'm always thinking, what would be some good songs to wrap up? I'm going to play, last week I played Jesus Loves Me, Claire de Lune, but this week I'm going to play my own version of Jesus Loves Me. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, yes, I had some notes that say, yes, play all the instruments. We'll get to it. Yeah, write in some suggestions, too. I'm going to be playing just a little bit longer, so I still got an audience, I see. But if you have any requests or anything that, for future concerts of either instruments or certain songs, I can't promise I can play each song you request, but I can learn new songs, too. So, like last week, I went over the requests that I had and kind of made a list. So any request, just put them in. Just trying to think here in closing. That would almost be a wonderful song to close to. But I feel like I want to do one more. Let's see here. I think I'm going to do an upbeat one. Oh, hey, Mom. This may become my favorite. Love you, Mom. My mom's watching. Cool. And my dad, too. Love you both. This is an old upbeat, kind of spiritual, Just a Closer Walk with Thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Hey, Mom, love you. Anyways, so yeah, I think my mom just joined in, so she'd be like, "Don't stop," right? Is that what you're saying, Mom? Do you have a request? Oh, she wanted me to play. She wanted me to play the Andean flute. Oh, from the one that you gave me. I haven't learned that thing yet. That thing's pretty tricky. But let me see here. I have plenty of songs, but sometimes. Oh, wait. Here's my sheet. If you ever get into trouble, you got to have a sheet like this. It has all these songs that you know, or at least you think you know. Everybody likes a polka. And I don't know if I played this last week, but the Happy Wander, that is a good one, right? Okay. That's a good one, isn't it? Polka. Yeah, I love polkas. If you like polkas, this is another good one. It's called the Black Forest Polka. Black Forest Polka. Well, I've got one more for you. And this song I'm going to end on. And I'm going to say it's a great one during this time when I had somebody say, we're going through hard times, but if you got a roof over your head and food on the table, I mean, there's so many things you'd be thankful for. I know I'm thankful, first of all, for my relationship with God, then for my wife and children. And when we struggle with, what's the future going to hold, there's one who's already there. But this song is a upbeat song I'm going to end on. It's Count Your Blessings. So yes, yes, I can do that. Yes, count your blessings, name them one by one. And I just had another request. Anthony asked if I could play the old Rugged Cross one more time. Well, I can't refuse that. So yes, I can. Thank you. Oh, speaking of which, sometimes when I'm at the restaurant, I'll be wrapping up. I usually play 3:30 to 7:30 at the Amish store. And I one time had this man, it must have been about almost 8, and I was winding down. It was a big crowd that night, and there was almost nobody left. And this man walks up, and he drops like I think it was a $20 in my tip jar. He said, "Can you play a little bit longer?" And they were like the only people in the restaurant. Of course I did, but it's funny sometimes. I'll be wrapping up, and somebody come up and ask for a request. So I usually try to always do it. But the old Rugged Cross. Whoop. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining in. Look for future concerts right here on Facebook. I eventually hope to be streaming on YouTube as well. Going to be doing some technical work on that. This is kind of all new to me, this live streaming thing, so I think it's going pretty well. I want to get some better microphones and stuff like that, but hey, iPhones are pretty cool and what you can do. So God bless you all. Keep looking up, and thank you for everybody and for your encouragement, and appreciate it all. So we'll see you next time. Thank you. God bless you. Oh, thanks. Oh, let me see what Mary wrote here. Yes, thank you, Mary. Thank you. And I'm glad that was a blessing to you, Anthony. Yes. Yeah, it was very meaningful, Mary, for you to be in on this, and I'll be doing others. Like, probably third time I mentioned it, but my music teacher from elementary school, Richfield Elementary, and I would say that you were very instrumental in developing the love of music in my life. So it's amazing how those songs, still are way back there, even the silly ones us boys used to sing in the back. But anyways, all right, God bless you, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.